I was just playing ranked, right? I was just queuing up that day, and I mean Paraiso, in my opinion, is one of my weaker maps because the only characters I really play on this map are Winston Hazard. I don't really play much Diva either,
Right.
but um, like enemy team goes a comp that it's just really hard for me to play Winston or Hazard into. And so
Yeah.
I just didn't really know what to do. That's like more of the context for this map in specific. But
Yeah.
like, I mean, I'm currently Masters 2 at the moment. The goal for like the end of the summer is to be GM again. But long term is like literally see how far I could go with the game, like just in general. Like if like GM5 is the peak I get, so be it, right? If like competing at a very high level is the peak, then that's also chill as well.
Right.
But I'm just trying to see as far as I can go, and also, what is? I mean, I I like before Marvel Rivals came out, I competed a lot in collegiate and like with Redbird Esports.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't play on the main roster, obviously, but I was in like the lower like level teams. And I still played like Division 3, Division 2. Like what is it? Redbird Esports is Division 1. I was
Yeah.
like Div 3, Div 2,
Right. Makes sense.
and yeah, and I've like had like scrim maps like against like Kuffa before and stuff like that. I've gotten like, I mean, I've had games against them. I haven't. I mean, obviously, I haven't won at like maps or at all, but I've like learned from those players before,
Right. Right.
and I just want to get back to where I used to be. Slash, I want to improve more as well.
Yeah. Makes sense.
And it's just like sometimes when I play this game, I feel very lost, and also like, well, what's the word? What am I looking for? Oh yeah, and like players like Kuffa and Admiral, right? And those and like players. I don't know if you know who like players like Vintage are as well, but like those kinds of people are very busy over the summer, like like to help out with like
Right. Right.
either
Right.
like one trying to improve or like two like just get like just play like scrims to improve. So I just find it very hard over the summer to actually improve with these games. And I took a break last semester because I just got sick and tired of Overwatch.
Right.
Because during the fall semester, it was like hard Hazard or Orisa. Well, when Hazard came out, he was like hard meta.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But Orisa meta before that was really boring. And as a tank player, I really did not like that. And it was just a toll on my mental. The game felt like a job. Right?
Yeah. I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Yeah, so I just stopped playing the game for a semester. I just played Marvel Rivals for a semester, but then that game kind of went to shit, in my opinion. And Overwatch actually got better because of like the perk system and all the stuff they added.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just came back to the game, and now I'm trying to get back to being like good at the game.
Yeah. There's quite a lot there. I mean, it's good. It's a good amount of context. We'll talk about the matchup here in a moment and things that you can do specifically on this map because it is very hard. I guess the first thing to sort of mention is like this is for I tell this to players that are your elo or are in teams or are higher elo, but you need to be watching like either like go to OBS Sojourn and like literally just load up a cover POV or like a Winston POV or whatever POV you want to watch. The best POVs are ones that the player themselves are exceptionally good in that map or in that game, and or the opposite is true, in which case they're actually exceptionally bad, and you want to look at things to avoid doing or why they might be dying really, really often or whatever the case may be. It's something that's and when I say watch it, I don't mean what people often do is I'll give them that advice and then they'll watch a POV and they'll watch it passively. They'll watch it like while they're eating dinner or something. That's not how you're gonna learn at the game. You need to either watch POVs again, like either OBS Sojourn, and normally the best way to do this is by replay codes like this. Just load up a replay code of like I don't know one of Kuffa's matches or something. And then like you ideally you spend like 10 or 15 minutes literally per fight looking at different POVs at different speeds, looking at what Cup is actually doing and why he's doing the things that he's doing, rather than watching it passively, because you're just not going to learn much that way. Again, the best ones are like where there's a game-changing moment. So I remember this, folks, just give an example of this. In the Soup Cup, there was Donghack, and Donghack was like really good at playing into Ana. And again, like, you know, trying to learn like hazard micro. And one thing Donghack was doing, hazard micro wise, was walling himself, like he was physically walling himself up with his wall to avoid the sleep dart and to dodge the sleep dart if there was no cover to use. So he would get double speed boost, he would go past like the enemy hazard and the enemy Genji, because they weren't really threatening that much. And then with double speed boost, he just leaps onto the enemy Ana, hard engages, uses wall to avoid sleep dart and juke it, and kills the Ana every fight. And that's like again a really important piece of hazard micro when you're playing into harder backlines. Micro into this comp is, I mean, on this map it's really hard because there's a big, just massive clot of open space. So regardless of whether you're playing Hazard or Winston or not, there's not really much wall climb micro for you to use. Instead, what I'm looking for you to do here is actually play kind of like a Tracer, or like play really weird, because this comp, what's the mobility of this comp, generally speaking?
I mean, it's just like the hazard and then like Ash with coach gun.
Right. And that's like the first part of it, is where understanding that these guys have low mobility. So I mean, you don't play ball, right? I mean, if you're a ball player, it's very obvious. You would just like swing around here.
I only really like, I used to play a lot of ball in Overwatch 1, but then like I just kind of fell out of the loop with the character. But I only really play the character on Flashpoint.
Interesting. Okay, why is that?
For one, New Queen Street is just like ball is just insane on New Queen Street. I found. What'd you say?
I think you push because New Queen Street's push.
Oh, not Flash. Yeah.
Oh
push,
yeah,
okay.
I was slightly confused there because Flashpoint's like a, you know, it's more enclosed.
Flashpoint, yeah, Flashpoint. I play all brawl tanks on that, but yeah.
Yeah, okay,
It's a push.
Because
I play a lot of ball.
Yeah. Because New Queen Street especially is really good for ball. So
yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense. I mean, again, in situations like this, it might be worth considering to go ball. But again, I also think it's worth learning how to play Winston in this kind of, again, against this kind of comp here, for sure. So again, on ball, you'd be doing this kind of thing. We're just playing in the back half of the map. On Winston, and I'll explain why this kind of works. And intuitively, you probably already know this, but I'll kind of explain why. I'll be looking for jumps really into like this doorway here, for example. I mean, assuming the Zen's not playing here, or behind the enemy team's map, like behind like past this high ground here. Maybe in some cases you could like jump in this little room and then go behind. That also works too. But the point is to try and get behind them. And the reason this works is because if the enemy team, i.e. the Ashe, the Hazard, the Torb, etc., if they want to come and force you out, they need to put themselves at direct risk or at danger to your Ana nades, to your Sojourn angle, to your Mori damage, and to your Genji angle too. In other words, they're going to put themselves at risk if they want to come and force you out. And that's why these positions here are really important, or really useful to actually play. It gives you free staging, it gives you free scouting, and again, you're really aggressive because you're directly behind the enemy team and you can stage or die from that. So that's really the important thing I'm mainly looking for, is playing in this sort of back half of the map here, some way, somehow. But we'll see how this pans out. Either way, like, there's no real other way. I can maybe, depending on, again, their setup and how they play, I could maybe see you soft engage to like this back high ground here maybe, where again, if they want to come and force you out, they need to come and sort of play in this open space. So here would be fine too, depending on how they're playing and where they're playing. We'll see how this pans out here. And it's the exact same advice that I give, for example, when I give to Venture players or to Tracer players whenever they're playing to Cassidy. If you're going to play into Cass or like a pocket Cass, make sure if the Cass wants to come and get you, and this actually applies to when you're playing Freya into Winston as well, because Freya is really annoying at the moment.
Yeah.
But if you want to try and play those into like high damage characters like Cass or Freya, you need to make sure that if they want to come and get you, they need to put themselves at risk. And that's the biggest sort of, I guess, thing to realize in the matchup. But we'll see here and how you play. So first fight, obviously, you know where they're running. So far, relatively fine. So Juno, Torb, fine. Okay, jump's good, fine. Okay. We'll talk about this bubble in a moment. Watch a bit more. Okay. Okay, so there's, two things there, right? So, what do you think about this bubble?
I mean, not very good. The Discord's not on me yet. I preemptively did it.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's very good because there's no incoming damage. There's not really much lethality on me yet.
Right. So there's like two things here, right? The first thing is what you just mentioned, right? The second thing is also you can't really like kill these people, or if it's kind of the I'd say my idea I just mentioned, right? But applied to you, where if you were to come and chase these guys, you need to put yourself at danger. You need to go outside of your bubble in order to come and chase the Zen and the Ash, which is obviously very dangerous. Because you'll just get domed and die. So obviously here you can soft engage, control the space. That's all good. Get these guys off the high ground. They're gonna fuck off anyways because this space isn't good for them. But yeah, I would not commit bubble for this. And actually, I was just coaching a Winston player the other day, making a very similar error where they were just literally just using bubble for no reason. And actually, let's say hypothetically, you kept your bubble here. This, right, and you just literally played this high ground here. You'd force out the hazard even more. So honestly, he might even die for it, to be honest. And you can even hard commit after this guy escapes because again he's low HP. You've done the soft engage, right? He's got no wall, he's low HP. You can bubble him off from his supports and kill the hazard. So that's something that could have actually happened here. Had you again saved your bubble here and played this sort of angle. This is the second thing I want to mention here is the jump away. Let's see your POV here again. Yes, is there like what's the reason for jumping away here?
I mean, honestly I don't really know. I'm gonna be honest. Like,
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real looking at that. I don't really know.
Yeah, I don't really know either, to be honest. Maybe the Zen spooked you. Like maybe you thought you could still see you from like the window or whatever. Or you maybe
I'm just hyperactive. Like I don't know.
Right. So maybe a little bit of panic there, but obviously like again you can hold that space. There's no reason to jump out there. And it's really unfortunate.
That's an issue to have on Winston.
Right. It might there's a sort of idea that linked onto that, which is like visual. This is why I tell Trace against players as well, especially. But it's visual aggro, i.e. looking at what's on your screen and whether you can take this aggro. It's actually could even be applied literally right there with the whole bubble engage, where hey, I can't actually chase these people because if I do, there's just too much visual aggro on me. And no one else was with me on the dive, so I'm not gonna keep chasing. Or I'm not gonna bubble for that exact reason. So yeah, been a fortunate jump there. And who knows, like those two mistakes there. Again, if those are remedied, it's a free kill into the hazard here, Like you could you jump, bump your head, bubble,
I see that.
turn them off, you're dead, right? And then you just cap first point. So yeah, really unfortunate. Okay.
Yeah.
He still dies it regardless, so we'll see what ends up happening here. Do you get this is a very short code for an escort map. Do you get first held here? Or...
Oh no, we get we get this point here, and then we we don't like move it anywhere.
Oh, okay, makes sense. We'll see this jump here again. Let's see.
I just missed the jump high ground. I feel like sitting high ground is just the better play.
Yeah, like you kind of like strafe. You kind of hedge your bets. You kind of strafe away from the high ground.
Yeah.
I
gotta hold A key instead of like nothing.
Right, yeah. Unfortunate that you go off the high ground there, which is again really sad because this is the best. Like this is the pinnacle of aggressive but safe. They can't clear
yeah,
here.
just drop on them.
Exactly, right? Easiest drop engage of your life. You clear the Zen too. Yeah, GG, But yeah. Okay, we'll see here. Okay. There we go, finally. Right, scouting is good. Okay, no issues. Okay. Fine. Okay, sure. Come back up. But maybe not. Yeah, I mean, it should be capped though. Fine. Okay, nothing crazy there. Just maybe jumping up the high gun there a little bit mid-fight after you kill the enemy Ash, but barring that, nothing crazy. Let's see how the rest of this second side goes. The kills, okay, fine. Popping Juno is fine, Bubbles is fine. Sad right click micro there. Bubble here is completely reasonable. Like again, you can hard engage this. Juno's alone, she's completely split. You're full HP, no one can see you. Yeah, the bubble here is fine. Just a little bit of right click micro is all that's needed.
Yeah, I just have to hit the codex with that, I guess.
And I think you also missed the melee here too, I believe. Oh, you hit it. Okay, that's fine. Okay, you hit the melee there. The unfortunate right click. Really sad. How low does she get? She's like literally 1 HP.
I mean, I don't even need to charge the right click. I just need to like press it.
Just tap it. Honestly. Yeah, 10 HP. That is really sad.
Yeah. It's like a minimum of 30. I'm pretty sure.
I
I actually don't know if that's right or wrong. But...
I actually don't know either, to be honest, but it should be more than 10 HP, hopefully.
Yeah.
Okay. Unfortunate. And obviously jump out there. And this again, okay, this is actually really important. Where should you jump out to?
Maybe hold on, yeah, I could do that. Maybe the right side, like straight ahead, like where I engaged from.
Right, so
Like,
back through here, basically. Yeah. This is the
Yeah.
most obvious one, like by far and away the most obvious one. I think had you known where the enemy team are playing, I think maybe the Hanses can chase you and whatnot here, right? I think maybe there's an argument. Is there a pack here? I think there's a pack. Yeah,
yeah, there's a mega there.
I
Yeah.
think there's maybe an argument to jump back over here, and again, it links back into the idea of, hey, they can't chase me. They haven't got the mobility to do so. They're not running trace, so they're literally just running double poke, and you know, like only Hazards can maybe chase you. But even then, you can outrun a Hazard, right? You're quit on short side, and you can outrun him. And again, Zen's not going to chase you, you know. And if they do chase you, guess what? Your team get all the space in the world and run it back. And again, it wouldn't be to clarify this. I would not be suggesting to do this had they been running Tracer. Freya can chase you to a lesser extent. Sombra as well.
It's just mobility. Yeah.
Mobility, right? Yeah.
Fair.
That's the thing.
Mobility and range.
Yeah. Freya's kind of like a unique hit scan because literally she feels a hit scan role but isn't a hit scan. She's got a lot of flexibility qualities in terms of her mobility. But yeah. Okay, Sick is interesting. Why swap Sick? Is it to zone out the?
I just didn't. I was just like, I just didn't like really wanted to. I didn't want to play Winston in that comp. I just like.
Right.
I just felt like it was too hard.
Yeah, I fully get that. Yeah. It's the one thing I'll say about this. So to give an example from me, I tell this to players a lot. It's normally it's a lower elo problem, but I one-trick Margo. Don't judge me. But I one-trick Margo last season, and I was playing, and obviously Margo's got a ton of counters, right? And my win percentage is 78, and I was playing the Diva, Ana, Zen a lot. I was playing on maps like this, for example, my Tell Margo map. And I guess the point here being is you can still. I don't want you to like play or force a hero if it's like genuinely impossible to play Winston on this map. But as you've seen, there's been multiple mistakes or multiple things you can do to again judge or to adapt to the map here, right? And you're never gonna learn that if you're just gonna keep swapping onto characters. So it's one thing I would bring up. You know, of course, if you're in a tournament game, swap to win, right? You need short-term band-aids, right? But that's what it is. It's a short-term band-aid to go Sigma here. You know, had this been Cuffer, for example, I'm sure you would have found a way. But yeah. Okay.
I mean, 100%, yeah.
We'll see how this pans out here. Rock's fine. Of course, another thing I'm going to be looking at is how well you can zone off the Zen Juno here, and as well as the Ashe as well. Yeah.
I will also say this too. I'm more comfortable on Sigma than I am on Winston. Sigma's like one of my top 3 comfort picks in like just in the game in general, not even just tank.
I should have asked that actually. What are your comfort picks on tank? What's your most
my comfort picks on tank are whatever brawl tank is like meta at the moment. It's like say like it's an Orisa meta, I'll play Orisa. If it's a Ram meta, I'll play Ram. If it's like I'm pretty sure you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, for sure.
Any brawl tank that's meta, and then like Sig, and then I mean it used to be Winston, but now I'm actually kind of more comfortable with Hazard because it's like I don't know, it's just like easier. I don't know.
You've got more versatility generally, and you've got a better one-shot potential, so it's easier to get to carry rank games basically playing Hazard.
Yeah.
Which is probably why you feel that way. But at least good to know that you are more comfortable on these characters. But yeah. Okay, we'll see here.
Sigma's my most played hero in the game, I'm pretty sure.
Damn, okay, interesting. Alright, we'll see here. Dropping off is fine. Okay, we'll talk about that shield in a moment. Grasp is okay. Fine. Space low. Aquatorb. Unfortunate rock. Shield is fine. Spam, okay. The only suggestion that I was going to poise, was going to propose is back over here, where you before the molten core actually, where you could have swung to the left side here. And again, it's the aggressive but safe idea where if this guy and this guy want to punish you, well, you're actually fine, right? You've got the buildings to play as cover, you've got your back and can still see you, and also the Hazard and Torb need to move out on open space if they want to come and swing and punish you. So that's the only thing I would have said there, swinging a bit more to the left side here. And again, you also threaten the high ground on the rotate as well, so you get that benefit on top of that. Whereas here, of course, you're just committed to this position here, which is a little bit more passive. But only thing I would have said there. Again, you can really move around a lot more when you're playing Sig into that kind of comp, which I want to see you using a bit more. But nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. As the way you've used your
Well,
abilities,
that makes sense though.
yeah. The aggressive but safe idea thing is really important. Because it min maxes your value. And again, had you been here, like now would be a perfect time for you to actually be able to rotate or play a little bit more aggressively to the top left angle. And again, the backline that gives the backline a lot of space because they don't want to leave it. They don't want to leave a Sigma just here, right? Because you're very scary from this sort of angle. But if they don't leave you here and they want to go onto you, well, guess what? Your backline's going to be in a lot less trouble. And they're gonna have a lot more space.
Yeah.
So,
And also, I probably would also be able to pressure that Ash off that angle
sure,
as well,
right?
so it gives
Exactly,
my DPS
yeah.
some leeway.
right here as well. For sure. So hopefully we can see you move up a little bit more here. I think again, it's not like what you're doing is like bad or anything. You've zoned off the Molten Core. The zoning against the Torpor there was more than reasonable. Grasp was good. It's not like again your Sick is like fine. But again, it's just adapting your playstyle against the comp really.
Yeah, that's fair.
One thing I want to ask as well: do you play? How often? Because you said Sig is your most played character. How often do you play Sig into like dive comps, i.e., like Tracer, Genji,
dive?
etc.? Yeah.
I don't normally pick Sig into into a comp. Like there's not really many times where I'll look at a comp and think like, oh yeah, Sig works here. I know it's funny to say because that's actually what I thought here, but like 9 times out of 10, I don't really think that. I kind of just pick Sig on like a poke map or map I like him on, like Junkertown. I mean, Circuit Royale is like the obvious Sig map.
Right.
And I mean, I'll even pick Sig on defense on this map too.
Because like the thing that I think a lot of players miss out on is like I was coaching a low GM Sigma the other day in EU, and he was playing Sig on Icon Wall defense, and he was playing into like a Genji Tracer dive comp. And obviously people think Sig is bad into dive, but in actuality, if you're very proactive on Sigma and you can force out Tracer or Genji before they even stage before the dive, he's actually really strong into dive. Again, it depends on how proactive you're being and how you can hit your hyperspheres. So that's something that I wanted to mention there because again, who knows? Maybe next time you play Sigma on defense and they play a dive comp and you're like, okay, I'm just gonna swap onto insert tank, maybe Hazard for example. But Sigma can be very playable into it, so something worth bringing up. Okay.
I mean, yeah, I agree. Makes sense.
Here, all fine. Hopefully you can walk up here. Fine. Okay, shield. We'll talk about the shield then in a moment. So, what's the intention behind the shield here?
Let's look at it again. Sure, want to play for a little bit again.
So if I slow it down here, the shield, what you're looking at is the hazard, or the hazard is the aggression you're really looking for. But your shield is really low. You've got Cart as your sort of cover, as well as the building here. Zen's not doing anything. Torp's not going to be doing anything if you're playing cover here. The shield's not that useful, you know? And again, it's like, your backline's still here.
Yeah.
Right, your backline can still help you out. Right, there's still, Vi over here. Where's your Ana? Where is she? I actually don't know where she is. Okay, maybe she's a little bit more passive, right? But your backline still can reasonably help you in time. Like, it's nothing crazy. And I doubt you're gonna die into a single hazard.
And the only damage is a hazard slash coming in.
Right? Like it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
So
I think I just did it as a panic thing.
Right. Maybe the Molten Core is a bit scary, right? But again, this links into the visual aggro idea, where had you seen what aggro you can take, it's just a hazard, you know. So it's not that deep. You don't need to be shielding this. Okay, we'll see here. Okay, and again, oh, got that grasp.
I don't think I needed that.
Yeah, it's all falling down a little bit here. So we're grasping into a hazard block, you know, which is not that great, or not that ideal. So I mean, I guess the grasp would be what would be a better grasp here?
I mean, just grasp like for example, like an Ash like shooting at me. I mean, just like any damage that isn't the hazard block, honestly.
Right. But the thing is here is that I don't know who's shooting you because you're not looking at them, you know. There's the visual aggro is impossible to see literally because you're not looking at them. Again, had you been, let's say this shield didn't exist and you didn't shield the hazard there and you did that well, Grasping here would actually be fairly reasonable because you're out in open space, you're half HP, you have a bit to rotate, Ash is still peeking this angle, Tor's peeking this angle, Zen I believe is peeking this angle too. Like grasping that makes sense, and you're half HP, you know. But because you're looking at a hazard block, it's just the aggro doesn't make sense. On what you're taking.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So yeah, okay.
It's more about the intention behind it.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, you sort of make it up for this by switching your crosshair a little bit to the right side. At least you do make a little bit of a fix there, but still not ideal. Okay, we'll see here. Okay. Okay. Right. So what was the point of that shield?
Nothing really. I mean, I have the left side to play. I mean, if I really want to, I could play the card even. Like I have so much to work with.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, you have so much space to work with, and there's no threat to you. You know, this guy has fucked off. He's gone to high ground. You know, he's done with you. There's no aggro that you're taking anymore, and you're more than full HP. You've got grasp HP. You're more than full HP here, and as well, there's no aggro in this lane. There's no visual. You can't see any aggro that you're taking here. There's no reason to be shielding this. It's such a thin spot, anyways. You know, I mean, and maybe if the Torb was here, right? Then yeah, and he was an overload and spamming you, then maybe I could see it. Maybe shielding there makes a bit more sense, right? But yeah, there's no reason to shield this. Okay, it doesn't achieve anything, you know. And again, like you said, right? Had he been pushing cart here, then no need to shield there as well because the carts will cover. So yeah, very unfortunate. Now, from a macro perspective, right? What should you be thinking about doing?
A zoning backline.
Right. What else?
I mean. Well, I mean, like.
Do you need to be zoning these characters right now?
I mean, I have to be zoning more Ash, honestly.
Well, okay, yeah, that's okay. Why the Ash? Why the Ash and not the Torb? Ooh, I'm not
because she's the only one with LOS too, like our team and helping the hazard, right?
Exactly, right. But right now, if I go to your POV, you cannot see the Ash right now. So the most aggressive person that you can zone, you haven't got LOS to, right? No one cares. Like, who gives a fuck about this person or this person or this person? They can't see your backline. Not doing anything. Whereas this person, that's the threat. So yeah, that's the thing I want to see you zoning. And again, it links back into that past idea about rotating here in the mid fight and looking to shoot the Ash, shield her off, right, force her out. And again, zone off the aggro. Of course, ideally here as well, you'd be looking to zone off I'll say zone in quotation marks, but you wouldn't have forced up the hazard here. Unfortunately, the character, not that great in terms of like, you can't just fly to the hazard and force him out. You can poke him out, right? So I would expect to shield a few shots, maybe a few shots towards the hazard there a little bit. And again, zone up the high grounds. That's your main priority, and shoot the hazard here a little bit. Make sure the hazard can't look for a trade, right? Force him out. But yeah, sick fundamentals there in terms of zoning. But right now, you're looking at a Torbjorn, you know. And if I look at the Ash POV, right, if I see her get a kill, I'm gonna be very sad, you know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Not particularly great. And we'll see your POV here now because you kind of get a rush and die. We'll see here. Okay. Maybe a little bit too far back there, but we'll see. Okay. Okay. So I think a lot of this is just down to micro. I think actually where you're playing, it's like 2 or 3 things here, right? The first one is the shield, right? You've got no shield when you're actually taking damage here. So the second thing is where you're actually playing. Had you been playing here, or had you been here earlier with a lot more distance, it becomes really, really hard for these guys to rush onto you, right? Because you're playing by this building, the Torb was really, really close to you. So he's actually able to pop overload and walk onto you. And the third thing is, there's no preventative zoning, right? Again, this Ash should never be able to drop down here and walk onto you. And had you been here, or here a little bit earlier, and shooting off the Ash, she fucks off. And she's never able to walk here in the first place. So, in other words, a lot of it is prevention, right? Of course here it looks like, again, you just get rushed down here, right? But in other words, had you had more distance, either, i.e. by playing here against the Az and the Torb, you'd been fine, and also, you would have saved your shield, and also, you would have been able to zone out the Ash too, and she can't even drop her in the first place. So, a lot of preventative stuff there that goes on in the last, like, 10 seconds here, that would have allowed you to actually live this engagement. But yeah. Okay. Let's see here. And there's a good saying as well. Of course, you're not playing into a dive comp really. You kind of get dove there. And there's a good saying. The only way you can live a dive is to not be diveable. Or in other words, the only way you can live a dive is to prevent it from even happening in the first place. And that's kind of what could have happened there. Where you can prevent the Ash from going on top of you in the first place. But yeah. Okay, we'll see here. Okay. And again, it's like, what's the point of the, like two people are dead right now, you know? So I don't see the point of the shield unless you're gonna like, you know, maybe walk across it, you know, and then try and play top left. But even here, I'd say it's not even that risky to be honest, because the backline are like 10. They're so far away. You could literally just take top left 10. You'll be fine even though you're down 2 because they're just so far away. But hopefully, please, fingers crossed, go top left. I'm praying. We'll see. Hopefully.
Look, you don't remember if I do or don't. I don't.
And your team are just struggling pushing a single Ashe, and it's just like your character's built for this, you know? Like this is what you play Sigma for. Like if you didn't tell me that Sigma was your most played character, I would have never guessed. So I guess the core question this entire map, this entire round really, has been why did you not push the high ground here?
I really don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Right, because you visually see.
I think I just like default or like I don't know. I just like defaulted to cart for some reason. Like, I don't even know why.
And yeah, I was just gonna ask, right? Why is the cart your default here? Because it's not like you're playing Hazard and you can just leap up to the high ground here, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So in situations like these, I think it's really not even a knowledge gap thing. I just think it's a mindset gap thing in terms of what you want to be doing on the character and what your priorities really are. And again, maybe a mindset shift to thinking about the game in terms of how punishable you really are. Because again, here in the last 2 fights, playing here early on, you just can't be punished against this comp. You just can't be. Now again, if you switch it into a more mobile comp, like Tracer, Winston, Sombra, then that's a different discussion, right? But against that comp, it's just never happening. So I think again, next time, I guess the lesson here is the next time in your Pariso, you visually see these guys. These guys are 10 trillion fucking miles away, and they can't punish you here. Play here. It's the freest thing in the universe, and it allows you to do your job in terms of again zoning off the big scary Ashe person. But I can't, for some reason I can't draw this. There we go, kind of. But yeah, unfortunate. If the Ashe gets a kill, let's back it up a little bit here because I want to see how much the Ashe actually does.
What is it? This is like literally like my worst map in the game. Like I've always sucked at Pariso, even ever since like the game came out.
Yeah,
I've just never understood it.
It is not a fun map to play, and it's a very punishing map if you play it wrong. But hopefully next time you see the Pariso fucking loading screen,
I mean, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. Your Genji just gets clotted. Your Ana gets destroyed. Yeah, not great. Okay, do you die here? Oh, that's tough. That's tough. What do you end up doing this fight? Let me see.
I actually don't know. Let's look.
Like, yeah, your shield just gets melted because you used it way too early. Hey, zoning no one cares about that zoning, really. Okay, you run away. Okay.
But I don't.
You try looking at the Ashe, but you realize it's just too far away. So you zone backline, but again, not really. The aggression here doesn't really matter. Look a little bit. Grasp's not that great because Torp's not really walking onto yet. Okay, look for a trade. Okay, so nothing crazy micro-wise there. Maybe a little bit earlier of a grasp there and some wasted shield. But yeah, by far and away, the key thing is your mindset in terms of how you're playing Sigma here and how you're responding into where the enemy team are playing.
Yeah, I should just be going for more aggressive but safe plays. I mean,
right. I mean, here.
Shouldn't I just go top left here? Shouldn't I just literally go top left here? They're just getting it for free.
So there's a few factors to this, right? So the first one's like if you got Flux. So are these characters right now? Well, we can forget Flux in a moment. I'll mention it. It connects to this point, right? But are these guys punishable right now?
I mean, not really.
Not really, right? I mean, it's kind of debatable. I think it's like, you know what? If you want to drop down and try and punish these people and because they're on low ground out position.
I mean, like maybe if my Genji has an angle, like maybe. Right. But like. I have a Moira to the right, like that's about it, and like we're down 2, so
right. So there's like certain triggers that I tell tank players in terms of like this is what I use for like soft and hard engaging, but I guess it kind of applies to the first one is like numbers, and obviously numbers right now are not looking good for you and your team because you are down two people right now.
Yeah.
Second one is positional, right, which actually kind of tells you, hey, I've got a massive positional advantage because Ashe and Torbo are on the low grounds. Third one is ults, and that's where the Flux comes into play. I think you can have your cake and eat it too. if you've got Flux. You can get to high ground easily, and you can punish these lot as well, you know? So Flux, I think, is kind of the big deciding factor here. Next one, or the other one is, what are the other ones as well? Like cooldowns, right? So maybe if Ash hasn't got Coach Gun, then that can be a reason, right? And then also, what's the other one I'm forgetting right now? Numbers, C's, maybe it comes back to me later. It's probably not important. But yeah, those are the main ones, I suppose. And Flux is the main factor here. Again, I don't mind if you want to poke out the Ash here a little bit, and then maybe go back to high grounds in the meantime, that's fine. But yeah, I think what you're doing here, not a blunder, I'd say. But yeah, especially like maybe you're more even Coles. Like coalescence can be really, really tough for their backend to deal with. So maybe if you're more a Coles from that angle, then who knows? But yeah. Okay. And Grasp is like, you don't. It's not enough. Is there enough aggression for you to warrant the Grasp? No, there is
really.
not. You know. If a Zen was swinging this corner, if you were discorded, if Hans was going onto you, if Ash was swinging this window top above you right now, or this building here, then sure. Or any of those situations, Grasp it makes sense. But here, you just DP it, and you're fine. So yeah, nothing crazy. Okay.
There's like no reason to really like fully like walk up here even either.
Exactly. Yeah, literally, right? You're down 2 right now, and these guys aren't punishable anymore. Your window's kind of gone.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would expect you to actually die for this, really.
I think I do.
You get nanoed actually.
I
okay.
get nano.
It's a big swing. Okay, we're missing shots into a orb. Might need to hit the Kovacs. Oh, that's not great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's really had you hit like just one of those 2 hyperspheres, you probably that would have died there, which is really unfortunate.
Yeah.
Okay.
I low-key thought that was gonna miss. I won't even lie.
Okay, so you're picking the wrong character because this guy can block it and he's fine, and he's got Ray too. So why not Flux backline here?
I think I literally just like went too fast. Like again, it's like what we talked about earlier, that whole like panicking thing, or like I just think way too fast sometimes.
Yeah, I
honestly feel like it's like most of this game. Honestly, if I'm thinking about this, because like I'm watching this, I'm just thinking like if I take like 2 seconds to like actually think about what I'm doing, I feel like I'd be playing a lot better. I'm just kind of just like,
it's the thing I tell players, like, because it's really common to autopilot, especially if you're playing like long sessions, or like again you're just playing, you don't actually know what to do, or like you haven't got like a template or a framework in your mind about how you want to play the game. That's where autopilot's really, really common. The thing I tell players all the time is ask yourself questions, because questions need thinking. Right? If you want to answer a question, you need to think about it. So normally the one I tell players is like, think about, where do I want to go to? How do I move? Is the big one that I tell most players, because their positioning is like awful. But I guess the main questions here are where do I Flux? Or is Flux worth it here? Or where do I move to with Flux, you know? Or what's my job against this comp? What am I good at as this character? Where should I move? You know, I think where should I move is still applies here, because had you ask yourself that, you would have saved a lot of pain. Just pathing, just top left, you know, when you could have done that 2 fights earlier. But yeah, that's the big thing I tell players.
I think it's interesting you mentioned that it's like you're talking about like long sessions, and I'm pretty sure this is like pretty late into my session of this night as well.
I should have asked as well at the beginning. How often do you play the game? How many hours?
I used to play like not much, but I've recently been playing a lot of hours. I mean, I have total time of I can open my profile right now. It's 1,384 on my main, and then like 200 on alt on like an alt or two.
Yeah. It's quite a lot. Obviously like it's easier said than done, and of course like I've actually, the worst case I've had is a player who played for like 8 hours in a single row, and then just did that.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's just insane.
I mean, I did play a bit prior to the session too with Stadium as well, with like friends casually, but like then I just played like 4 hours of ranked or whatever.
Yeah. I will say this: please try and have a break every 2 hours. It's why in scrims people don't back to back double blocks. They'll have a block, break, double block. Yeah. So that's how they do it, but that's why.
I've always been a firm believer of never double blocking unless you're like a very high level team that needs to double block.
99% of players and teams do not need to double block at all. But
100%.
But yeah. Okay. We'll see here. And actually, where do you move? Oh, we don't even take high grounds. Ooh. Yeah, that's really unfortunate. It's kind of a thing as well where it's like you should kind of at this level as well. You should subconsciously know to move to the high ground here anyways, because again it's just a great LOS, good escape path, good cover here to use as well. You can zone anyone anywhere at any time. So yeah, like of course you should just play here. Especially if you wanted to go to high ground here in the first place, you know. That's kind of the only reason, or the main reason why you wanted to go down main here is that, hey, I'm 75 to flux, I can go here in the mid fight regardless. But yeah, really
makes sense.
Unfortunate. Okay. Oh, now the Ash has got a demon angle. Oh my god. And it's just killing your entire team. Oh, that's ugly. Yeah. Again, I can see a world or a situation where, hey, had you been here, maybe the Ash looks at you instead of your team, and then doesn't get those 2 kills and so on top of your team there. Sadly.
That's fair.
Like 2.5 minutes left. Let's see how the rest of this stack goes. But so far, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. Oh, your character gets. Oh, the zoning becomes too late as well, and it's like you can see the Ash coming out here. Yeah, right there. Like that needs to be zoned. You know, like simple. Like, you're the best character at the game for zoning, apart from Winston maybe.
Yeah.
And we just ignore the Ash.
I mean, like in most instances, it is Sigma. I would think.
Yeah. Which is sad because I don't know what we're shooting. We're shooting.
Yeah, we're shielding main when no one's there.
Yeah. Not a great shield. And again, it's just visual cues. It's literally just visual cues, you know. And aggression. It's literally just it. But yeah. Okay, Rock's nice, but again, shield's not. So, too little, too late. There, sadly.
No, that's true. The shield's more important in this as well.
Yeah. Of course, the nice thing about Sigma is that you can multitask. Like you can rock while shooting as well. But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see here. Alright. Spots are fine. Okay. Shooting of the rotate's fine. Hold up. Is your team rotated yet? Yeah, sure for your team. Hold up.
Yeah, not fair enough.
Yeah, so like I was just gonna say, like before, generally in fights as well, it's pretty good to look at your backline, just to see where they roughly are. So you've got awareness on how they're moving and whether you even need to be shooting for them in the first place. But yeah, like I'll just shoot the rotate here, very easy. Here would make sense.
That's something I've been trying to incorporate way more into my gameplay again, because I used to do that a lot and then I stopped doing it, and then I like was wondering why am I like stuck in masters, and then I'm like I should like probably look at my backline more often just to like as like a general rule of thumb.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's
it's like I still don't do it all the time, right? It's just something I've been trying to work into my gameplay to like get that muscle memory back, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. It's something you probably need to consciously work on. I guess a good exercise to do. This is also really important when you're planning to dive, is to look around in between your hyperspheres for scouting purposes. Just getting into the rhythm of that, and then naturally you'll just be looking around a lot more. In between your hyperspheres, that is. So yeah, on Sigma it's super easy to do. Because your fire rate is so slow. But yeah, of course, been unfortunate there, and hopefully your team don't die on the rotate. I'm praying.
Yeah.
Okay, with just TPs. Is Zen fine? Zen is not fine. That should be fine though. Let's look at what you're doing here in a moment. Okay. Alright. Yeah, when does Bob come out here? Are you even? Yeah, because like if you're here and you're Zen split, that's fine, right? But why are you not paying attention to the rotate here, or when the Bob goes across the rotate? You know, because again, that's aggression, and that tells me that hey, sure, maybe fine, they want to punish this rotate. It's it's open space, I get it, right? But you need to be walking over here and going on the Ash immediately. And again, it's the same idea where hey, if they want to punish this rotate, it's gonna be risky, right? This Ash is taking a risk by doing this. And you and your game need to be punishing that right now.
And the Ash could die, or we at least get like coach going out at like
exactly
at least, right?
You make it painful for this Ash to punish this rotate, and right now instead you're just front to backing this hazard here, you know. Yeah, right. Like we missed the rock there, but who cares really? And we're front to backing a blocking hazard with armor. You know, it's not much.
Yeah. Okay, I feel like at least in this game, I'm kind of just like playing the game super lazily.
Right.
I'm just being very lazy and not really thinking much about what I'm doing.
It's you're kind of going off of vibes, you know, like I think the meme is like hype moments and aura. That's kind of what you're going off of, rather than actual strategic structured gameplay. So the two fixes there were just shield. Your Zen can rotate. Like your Zen was AFK. I think it was like, what the fuck's going on? I can't move. Or if this Ashe does still punish your Zen by rotating and you guys rotate across, again you just punish the Ashe across this open space. So yeah, that's two solutions there, sadly.
That's fair, yeah.
Okay, we'll see what happens here. Okay, don't miss the rock, don't get the trade. Oh, that's sad. Okay. Yeah, trade there onto the Ashe would have been really nice. Okay. Okay. Rock's fine, forces out wall. Okay. Forces out has. Okay, let's look at the shield here. Okay.
It's not really needed.
It's just like what are we pushing? Like the only person that the shield is going for is the Ashe, but you're just going on. Again, it's the intentionality, right? The intentionality.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
But you know, the intention should be on the Ashe, sadly. So really unfortunate. You know, everything else that you're doing here is really good. Like again, you're forcing out has. You're making sure your backline can actually walk safely. That's all good. I'm happy with that. But yeah, it's just the zoning of making sure your backline can walk here with the shield. And making sure this person can't fucking peek and like just do 20 billion damage onto your backline. So fingers crossed, we can see that being fixed a little bit sooner. Oh look, did you have the glimpse? Okay, tell me you marked the Ashe. Why are we saying hello at the hazard? Oh my god. Okay.
I don't know.
So like, I had like a brief moment of hope when you flicked across it here. Like here, I was like, okay, surely now. We like toss. I mean, again, your shield's 1 HP, which is really sad, right? But hopefully, I would see you like bank some like hyperspheres off of this wall, right? Maybe bank some hyperspheres off the like some like crazy ass like geometry tech, right? Like do something like that. I was hoping you were gonna do that, right? But no. Instead, we turn around and we say hello at our fucking hazard, which is again really sad because the Ashe is 1 HP and the Ashe is really scary. So. What are we shooting? Oh my god, we're shooting a tights. And even one thing as well is this is like a really old shield micro, and this has been applied throughout the entire VOD, right? But you're not shielding because you're shielding so much such that you're not allowing it to regenerate. And it's been you just get your shield deleted, and then you shield the first little bit of aggro you see when it's 200 HP, and then it breaks really easily. So. Yeah, really unfortunate. Rock there is okay. Please can we look top left, please. Why are we shooting again? We're shooting into a shield. We're shooting into a cart, and we're not looking top left. Please, where's the DPS? Okay, DPS has been cleared here, right? But again, it's the intentionality, right? I don't know where the Ashe is playing. I don't want an Ashe here, you know? Like, a simple glance is all it takes. Thankfully, this looks promising, right? Their backline's doing fuck all. The Ashe is doing fuck all. So thankfully, we should be okay here. Hazard should be really easy to clear, and it should be a-okay, hopefully. I'll go back to your POV here. Force him out, he's feeding. Down, okay, cool. I was gonna make a joke there about being being cover, but cover's actually good on hazard. Okay, are we don't tell me.
That guy.
Okay, I guess.
That guy's like.
There you go.
That guy's like actually a good player.
Yeah. Okay, we go car here. Honestly, you got Flux next fight, so it's like less bad. And I kind of
but I don't think I was thinking that in the moment though. Is the issue that I have mentally here.
Right, so maybe the outcome's like fine, but in principle, the intention again is like not ideal.
I don't even know why I go here. Like I'm gonna be honest. Like I'm just like thinking like in this situation, right? Like I'm watching this. And it's like I'm thinking in my head like I should like at least like pressure the Ashe out. But like in this VOD, I just like don't do that. Like I just don't get it. Like why I just go cart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean I get hindsight's 2020, but like I don't know. I just don't know why I'm defaulting because like I don't think I would normally make that play. Like just like
maybe it's...
I just don't know.
Yeah, who knows? Again, maybe it's like a case of like, hey, I can get instant value now by pushing cart. And I can always zone the Ashe later with Flux or. You know, when I get to, I can flux to the high ground and then I can zone the Ashe later, right? But Cart needs to move right now, so again, it's not the worst thing in the world, again, for Flux reasons, right? But again, you're not thinking that in the moment, so Who knows why you're doing this? And it's really sad because
I just don't know.
your Trace is coming back, so she can push it. Your Kiriko can push it, and literally anyone on your team can push it. She can TP, she can blink, she can fly, and it's really like nice to just zone off the Ashe here. That would have been so nice. But yeah, we'll see how the next fight pans out from this. What are we? Okay, you know what? Fine. I just saw you shield the voices. Oh, and your Echo goes high ground, and then you could have been top left, and you could have actually pincered that quite nicely. Or, like, you could have just been right here, and you could have just... Oh, dude. Oh. It's like a dominoes effect of, like, because you drop down to cart, you can't kill the Ashe. Because you can't kill the Ashe, you can't get a steamroll going. Because you can't get a steamroll going, you can't push cart further. Like, it's just a slow dominoes effect of mistakes here.
Yeah.
Or missed opportunities is probably a better way of putting it, but yeah. And why is shield? Why are we not putting down shield? What are we shielding?
I'm gonna be honest.
Put it down.
Like, I don't
Put
know.
Put it down. Okay, thankfully. Okay. God. All right. Again, we don't need to be shielding the top. He's not. Your backline's
It's not threatening. He's not lethal.
Exactly, right? And you're not being lethal onto him either. You know, he's not like 1 HP and you can push him and you can kill him. That's not the case here, right? Again, regen your shield. It's 252. So yeah, pick a chill pill. Okay, that rock. Okay, all on micro is going out the window. Yeah, Hazard's for HP. He's not aggressing onto anyone. He hasn't committed slash. There's no reason to rock this. And not great.
Yeah.
Okay, Grosbeer is a... Okay, so there's a saying that I have. You don't want bad positioning to force bad cooldowns here. So in this specific situation, with the situation that we are currently in, based off of the dominoes that we've currently toppled, grasping is fine. We are taking a Torb and an Ashe and a Hazard aggro. But the point here being is that you should never be in this situation here in the first place.
Yeah.
You should never have to grasp it in the first place. So of course, grasp is fine, but again, you should never have to use it. Oh, don't tell me you're matching the fucking orbital ray. Oh, this is not good. Tell me you're backing off here. Oh. Okay, I'm surprised you lived that for as long as you do. We missed the flux too. So much goes wrong here. So okay, we'll deal with the flux later. I guess the first thing we'll deal with is the positioning.
I mean, honestly, I don't even think I just should even flux to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, let me see this again. Actually, the flux itself. Yeah, I mean, why do you say that? Why do you say you shouldn't flux it?
I mean, I just don't think that the Hazard's like in kill potential because they have Ray, and also, I mean, the Ashe could die, right? But I don't know. I just feel like my Kiri's 1, I'm 1, right? I am at risk of dying, like heavy risk of dying.
Yeah.
It's just like there's so many factors that go into like even if I hit the flux, it probably isn't gonna work out.
Exactly, and that's the big thing, is the risk taken with this flux.
Yeah.
Because in actuality, I actually don't think it's a bad flux. Like if you ignore the HP for a moment, hey, this person's killable. Hey, I can actually finally go high ground for once in my life and actually do stuff. Yeah. That's all good. And we push cut enough. That's all fine too. So those are fine, right? But it's just that you're 230 HP into an orbital ray. Like that's again, it's the aggro that you're not accounting for. So I'm really shocked here actually that you don't get blown up for this. By again the brawling of the enemy team here. So yeah, you go high on here, you don't, and you miss the flux too, which is really sad. It's like the double whammy. You miss the flux and you don't get to high grounds. Or forcing out your Zen trans too. Okay, Rock there's reasonable. He's just scored it. He's aggressive. Fine. Sure, that's okay. Blocks with healing. Okay, and it's for you obviously as well. Okay, taking a shield, good. Unfortunately, we could have been high ground here. Okay, I didn't actually know you could do that. Okay, that's crazy.
I had hover perk. I had the hover perk. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I can see. Okay, that makes sense.
I did. Yeah.
Okay, good to know. At least we're finally. It's been how long? Like 7 minutes, and we're finally on high ground. Okay, we're good. Let's see the shield here again.
Just terrible mechanics as well. This Juno should be dead.
Yeah, we'll look at the spheres in a moment here. But I mean, the aggro is not. Again, no one's looking at you. Look at the eyes.
Yeah.
You know, look at the eyes. Who are they looking at? And the second they start looking at you, then sure, then you can shield that, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, the top turret. Who cares? It's 44 DPS. But yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, they're still not even looking at you. Nice rock. Nice, nice. Okay, now, okay, this is where shielding the Ash forwards would have been really nice. So you can shield forward here and pull out the Ash. That could have been really, really nice there. But yeah. Forced to drop there. Yeah, really unfortunate. Okay, so okay, there's a lot there. Both micro-wise, mindset-wise, macro-wise, positioning-wise, comp adaptability-wise. I mean, just ultimate-wise. I'm just actually kind of started for words here. But we'll see a bit more defense. So hopefully, like, because so far, like, you're one of those players such that there's a little bit of everything that's going wrong here. So it's hard to sort of prioritize the big fish, so to say.
I go ball, the fuck?
Whoa. We are on ball.
I don't know. Low key, I feel like I don't know. I feel like you can low key ignore this because like I just feel like I just like picked it because I was just like annoyed or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, we're inting on ball. Okay.
Yeah, I think I just trolled the fucking game here if I didn't already. But like,
all right, we got a little bit more time. You can give me a spare code and we can check it out.
yeah, I do have one more. I think that's funny too that it was like that. Like that was like one of the like 3 games I lost in that ranked session as well, and I played like actually terrible. I mean, I genuinely feel like that most of that is actually just like the autopilot default mindset, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I think that's probably the root cause of everything on that map.
Because like, yeah, I mean, I'm also just terrible at that map. Like, I'm not gonna cope and say that like that gameplay is not mine. It definitely is. I'm just shit at that map. But like, I don't know. Like some of those decisions, like at least a few of those, it's just like, yeah, I don't know. Like I just feel like I was defaulting to like just like, because I don't know. That was a long session. I think I played like 14 games that session or something like that. And that, I mean, like you said, just not very good for the improvement mindset. I mean, I was like literally doing nothing that day, so I was just like bored and wanted to play, right?
It's super. It's probably a ton of factors in terms of, again, it's a long session. It's not a map you play often, or it's not a map that you like to play very often. And of course you're playing into a comp initially, especially with the Winston as well, that it was just hard to play into.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I got this one code actually, this ball code, which I've actually been trying to get better at balling just because I find the character fun. It's a win, by the way, so it's not probably not the best VOD, but like it's a VOD. I feel like I could have definitely played better though, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah, I get what you mean.
Because I don't really like VODing wins. I like VODing the losses. I think those are the better ones to do it.
For sure, yeah.
But they but if I just this is one that just came to my brain instantly. I start off on Ram and then I instantly swap.
Alright. Let's just go swap it. Okay, we're on ball. Oh, yeah, because of New Queen Street, okay. Okay,
I've been trying to get better at this hero, so
yeah, we'll look at the ball fights. Alright. Back a little bit. A little bit. Okay, cool. Get up. So when you're playing ball into this, what are your drops?
Are you talking about wait, say that again, I'm sorry.
So, yeah,
I was low-key writing on a notepad.
No worries. But when you're playing ball here, what are your drops? What are you looking to do here?
Uptime to harass backline and like, I mean, soft engaged for CCs, well, I mean, cooldowns.
Yeah, I mean, that's literally 90% of it, right? Of course, micro-wise as well, you're looking to not get slept, if you can. There is, again, it's easy to do on, again, Winston or Hansen, so we'll look at the micro there. But yeah, we'll see how this pans out. And in certain situations too, I will say, because you're playing a more, I guess, ranged variation of the ball comp with double hit scan, you can also, and with Weaver as well, an important thing, or an important detail, is to try and play an LOS of these characters. If you guys are able to live through their ball tracers Juno hits, you should be able to win. Your comp should be better. So it's really like preventative in terms of, again, how can I make this dive messy? How can I prevent Mikey from staging a good dive here? It's kind of the mindset. So we'll see how that pans out. Okay, fine. Yeah, fine. I'm okay with that. Mikey's out. Cass is dead. Fairly easy fight. Ball's doing fuck all. Pin zone backline, goods. Okay, pulls out Tracer, goods. Personally, I wouldn't chase the kill here, but popping is good. Okay, roll out, fine, nice. Roll back around. Okay. A small thing there, I would have just kept going in deeper, to be honest, and try and control the space again, rather than looking at the ball. But nothing crazy. That fight there actually pretty good.
I have a bunch of health, and I think I had shields up as well.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, it's a nitpick, but it's something I can improve
right.
on.
Yeah, because so far you've been doing fairly well in terms of your micro and your decision making. Okay. Unfortunate miss there. Okay, what could you have done here micro-wise?
Actually hit the Ana.
Well, that's one thing. What do you think about going crab mode here, though?
Don't think it really does much. I mean, yeah, I can shoot her, but like, right? She just nades me or like sleeps me. I mean, nade does nothing here, but sleep like gets my uptime down.
Right? Yeah, sleep's a scary one. So going crab mode is like not great. I would just keep rolling back out. Say, okay, fine, I missed a roll through, whatever. Roll back out and then roll back in, and then try and roll through and force out sleep. Cause here I don't know why she doesn't sleep yet. She got it. One character. Oh, some cooldown. Okay, sure. But again, I don't think you knew that. You get away with that.
I mean, I did not. I don't think I did.
Fortunate. Very fortunate. Okay.
I mean, if I knew that, I probably would have hard.
Yeah, then hard engaging there makes sense. You can do some like weird pole driver thing. That's fine. Okay. Unfortunate. Happens. Okay. Falling space is fine. Falling out. Again, I would just not go crab mode there.
Yeah, just not shield. Yeah.
And shield there's yeah, no bother. Okay, force out ball, fine. Shoot out tracer, fine. Okay. Unfortunate clunkiness, but it's fine. Okay. Alright, got tracer again. Okay, so you've kind of got a decision to make it, right? Do you go tracer or do you go honor? You've got two choices. Which one's better here?
I mean, okay, if I go tracer, I mean, enemy team doesn't really. I mean, it makes our team very. I mean, it helps our team out a lot actually if I keep forcing tracer out. But I still feel like booping Ana out into the potential kill is also still a good decision. But I don't know if the tracer decision's better. Can you explain why?
I don't think it is. So I don't have to explain why. But I guess
okay.
Yeah, the key thing here is that this person are they a massive threat to your team right now?
No, they're doing nothing right now.
For Mikey to be a big threat to your backline, what does Mikey need to do?
Be like set up on an angle somewhere, or like just be ready to like shoot someone.
So be set up in the first place, but also in this situation right now, if he wants to do something, what does he need to invest?
Blinks
to do so. And does that make him easier or harder to clear out?
Easier,
right? So he's essentially stuck between a rock and a hard place here. Whereas Bull's currently in half HP, and he's doing fuck all. So you haven't got to do anything. This is not a good dive. Sure you can force him out, right? It's not a terrible option, but again, it's an opportunity cost kind of thing. So I think you make the right choice here. But again, if Mikey was in a better...
He's gotta be quicker with it.
Right. If Mikey was in a better angle or a more aggressive position, then I think going onto him makes a lot more sense here. Or if he was more killable, maybe he didn't have recall or something, then I think that's fine. You can get a kill onto him. But yeah, going on here makes sense. Good boot. Good pole driver. Nice. Michael's good tier 2. You've got cover to use, so you can avoid the sleep darts. That's all good. You're playing tree as well. He's 1 HP. That was fine there. I don't mind that. Nice. Nice. Somehow your Weaver dies, and I don't know how. Because you've got tree and traces and fucking nade, alright? So yeah, that's also, I was going to mention that as well, where going on honor is important such that you can absorb the nade, and nade doesn't hit your backline. Because nade is a more aggressive threat than tracer right now. So yeah, that little bit there, arguably, where you could have just you could have hard engaged, not your hard engaged, sorry, but you could have rolled onto the honor there, arguably makes a big difference in terms of your backline, whether your backline lives or dies or not. Because if that nade doesn't hit, your backline's fine. So a little bit faster there on zoning the backline or soft engaging. But yeah. Okay. Alright, hopefully your team win this. Okay. Can't power drive, good. Okay. Okay, we're balling. Okay, Soji's OCing. Okay. I would roll in with my Sojin to help my Sojin and
Yeah.
draw aggro away from her because you just.
That's fair.
I would not want my Sojin dying there. Thankfully your Sojin just thinks that the goats. So, but yeah.
Yeah. Just turned into like proper for no reason.
Yeah, this is good. Something else. Okay, we'll do a quick summary here at the end. But I think I know the key things to work on as a summary. So we'll use this wall. Okay, first thing, I think it has to be like a mindset or a counter autopilot kind of thing.
I mean, I feel like the main counter to that is they just play like a maximum of 2 hours of ranked like a session.
Right. So a few things. The first one's again like don't play too long in go. Second one is visual use. So now, thankfully, next time the second you pop up this, you see parades will pop up on your screen. In a ranked game, your mind will transfer back to this session, and you'll know what to do and look out for. Which is basically again the mobility of the enemy comp. Again, and also the aggressive aggro but safe idea too. And we saw that multiple times on first point and second point attack. First point and
Yeah.
okay, and then second thought thing to this as well is questions. And this is more of a general thing. So this one's like specific to Parisa, obviously, because we've been looking at Parisa a lot. But in
What do you
general,
mean by question?
if you don't know what to do, is like asking yourself, where to, or who do I go on? And things like that. Like, questions will get you thinking, and then those should get you out of the autopilot kind of mindset. And then I think was really it for the main kind of thing there on Parisa. Second thing, I'll say is I'll build on that visual aggro idea a little bit more. Visual aggro with cooldown. CD. So we saw a lot on Sigma especially. Where we're shielding air. Shielding air or little aggro. Little aggro. Rocks were actually fine. I think 90% of the rocks were good. It was when the Hands was committing, he was aggressive, he was punishable. So your rocks were fine, I think. Shielding was a really big one though. And then I guess we could like again positional / rotations. I.e. again links back into that first idea too. And then also here on ball, again respecting on a sleep, aggro. So then you're staying, or you're getting staying out of crab mode basically. And then third thing, let me think. I guess we'll say like, we'll say like playstyle adaptation. So like that comes into like comp differences on Paresa, for example. That also comes into soft versus hard engaging. So again, a good example of that was like the first bubble on Winston.
Bubble should only be used for hard engaging,
right?
Versus like it just
fucks up your cycles and it makes it way more inefficient. So that's the key thing I say there. And then also this goes into ball as well, like rolling versus slamming on ball as well.
Yeah. I usually have a way easier time soft engaging on like ball and hazard.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to do on ball. It's a lot easier to do on balls, admittedly. But yeah, those are the three key things I'd say. Any questions or queries?
I mean, I don't really have many like questions. I mean, actually no. So like with like Sigma on Paraiso, right?
Right.
We were talking about like the like the positional aggro, right?
Yeah.
So what were like the conditions like met like that need to be
Oh yeah,
met
good question.
for like to take like to like walk up and force out the ash where it's not where it's inting to not inting, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
so there's a few factors. First one's distance. So i.e. when I say this, I mean how far away is as then oh shit. Because if they're really far away, these characters cannot punish you. So therefore, you can walk up and go for the ash. Again, had you been on that, because the way you were playing one fight where you just got ran on, basically, you were playing really, really close to the Torbjorn and really close to the Hazard. Whereas again, had you been playing left side a lot more, not only would you have been zoning the ash, you would have been playing further away from the Hazard and the Torb, and it just makes it a lot harder for them to punish you. Second factor, which you kind of brought up there as well, is LOS. So can they see me or my team? So again, back to that fight. Had you been top left, Zen can't see you, Bob can't see you, Ash, you won't give a fuck because you'll be shooting her off, and Hazard will be so far away that you won't care about his shots from distance. So that's kind of the key thing, and you kind of alluded to that as well. Again, this links into like shielding aggro as well, because a lot of the time as well, you were shielding when characters were like 10 trillion miles away, and they weren't that aggressive. Of course, again, if they're punishing a choke, for example, when you're rotating with your Zen, then it's fine to shield that for your Zen, so you can actually rotate there safely, because there's a lot of aggro going onto that choke there, and going onto that open space area. But LOS is also an important idea. And the last one is cover. I guess we can chuck in mobility here too, but again, the mobility, like, I guess, links into the first idea.
Like yeah, I can think about like that like you know Paraiso there, right? I just hurt something. Okay, whatever, fine. But unlike Paraiso, right? Like I can understand like the cover of like that one building like to the left of my character, right? Or to the right. All right. But like applying like that aggro stuff onto other map is it's like literally just like cover LOS, right? Like with like those comps that aren't as mobile, right?
Yeah. It's again, when you weren't playing Sigma, so when you're playing Winston, that jump back to the Mega would be an example of an aggressive but safe jump, where those factors still apply here, because the Mega, when you jump to the Mega, you're just so far away from the entire enemy team that no one's gonna punish you. You're also out of LOS from everyone on the enemy team apart from the Hazards. And you've also got good cover to use because the Mega's got a building to play around. So those are the important factors, and of course you're playing into it in a mobile comp. So that's how essentially how you pull off aggressive but safe positioning. I guess another factor here too is like LOS is not just onto the enemy team, but also onto your team as well. So again, Sigma by the buildings, your backline can still see you. If you get jumped, your backline can still see you, and your backline should be able to help you out with nades, damage orb, dash from Genji, echo stickies, fair shit, etc. But yeah, those are I guess the ideas or the factors there that to help that positioning out.
Yeah, makes sense.
Anything else?
When okay, another thing is like when you so I don't know like how well you could really answer this question, but I'm still gonna run it by. When you're kind of in like an autopilot like stage or like a stage where you're like not really all mentally there, how do you kind of how would you go about combating that?
I mean, I would just take a bit from the game, to be honest.
Just a break, like yeah, okay.
Yeah. Because like you don't want to lose games because you can't. Not just because you're not playing at full performance, but because you know you can't improve to play at full performance. Like your improvement is hampered by your mental. So I would just take a bit from the game. It's the same thing actually I did with content creation, because I took a break from content creation like for 2 weeks. And then just came back to it. So yeah, just take a short break and you'll be fine.
I mean, yeah, it's like the what is it? Because at school, like study habits, like for me when I study for like an hour and then I take a break and then like I'll get back at it after like 3 hours of just like doing whatever I really want to, you know?
Yeah,
something that doesn't really take much like forced effort, and I mean, not to brag, but I get good grades, you know, like at least in like how I like something that I'd be proud of, you know,
Right,
like grades, yeah. And Oh yeah, I think if I kind of applied those same principles to this, I think I would actually probably get a better turnabout.
For sure, for sure.
Because after all, it is like like the same kind of thing, right? Where it's like, I mean, obviously, doing like doing like math and like playing Overwatch, they're not necessarily the same thing, obviously. But like the whole like mindset of it of like improvement is kind of the same.
Yeah, it's there's a quote by Spilo, which was like better. What was it? Better people make better players. I think is the saying that he says.
Yeah.
Which is true because like there are aspects of like Overwatch that apply to other aspects too. Or other areas of life. So yeah. Anything else?
No, nothing really. I mean, other than like, I might need to retire on Sigma, but
Uh, no,
nah,
you're
it's
good. Um,
nah. We
but
have bad games. I
yeah,
just low-key
yeah.
needed to be flamed on Paraiso to like get it.
Mm. Well, hopefully next time you get the map, you'll play better. And
Yeah.